Hi friends, Mickey Mankis here and welcome to Out the Back Door. Today I am going to be cleaning up and cooking a deer heart. My husband harvested a deer the other day and that's what we're going to have for supper tonight. So join me. I want to know how many of you have actually been throwing away your deer hearts because you don't know how to cook them properly. You're thinking they come out so tough and it takes too long to cook and everything. Well, I want to show you a quick and easy way to make such beautiful tender slices out of this that you're going to regret every time you did throw one away. The first thing you want to do is once you get your deer heart in, you're going to have to wash it up and everything, clean it. I've gone and washed out with cold water the outside and everything, and I've also run water down the valves here. You want to make sure that the water ends up coming out nice and clean. That way, if you have any blood clots or any other blood material in there, that it's all going to get flushed out right away. The next step we're going to take, you need a sharp knife, is we're going to start trimming away all this valve tissue on the top here and everything, and also any of this excess connective tissue around the muscle here. Yes, the heart is a muscle. It's a very big muscle and it can be tender if it's cooked properly. All right, so I'm just going to slice off the top here. And you're going to see inside all the valves and everything, and we're going to be cleaning all of this out. If you have any blood clots, just cut them off. And I'm just going to get in there for the top portion here and cut the larger pieces out. All right. Next, I'm going to be trimming the outside area here. We don't want any of that on there. It has no flavor, it's tough, it's nasty. Now, I was taught years ago that you had to pressure cook a heart in order to get a good tender piece of meat out of it. And I had tried that. I tried boiling it for a couple of hours. All these different methods many people had been trying to share with me saying, and this is how you have to cook a heart. And I didn't care for it. And either I was giving the hearts away or I was tossing them. And finally I found a way to do this. It was on YouTube, in fact. And the young guy was saying, I bet you're going to kick yourself in the backside for all those deer hearts that you threw away. And you know what? He was right. So that's why I wanted to share this method with you. Any seasoning that you would normally use on a steak is probably what you want to use on this. So if you have your favorite, grab it out. All right, we are going to continue trying to get out all the valves that are inside of the heart. And if we're using up a little, if we're cutting off a little bit of meat on the top, that's okay. Okay, I've got a little bit more of this white on the bottom here. I'm going to slice that off also. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try to clean it up as well as you can. Okay, now that we've got most of this all trimmed up and everything on the outside, this is when we're going to start cleaning the inside. But instead of trying to stick your knife down in where all the valves were and everything and work your way that way, what we're going to do is we're going to slice the heart into steaks and then we'll remove those center parts. Now, I usually cut my steaks. I'm just going to trim the top off here. I'd say maybe about 1/2 inch thick. I want you to see this beautiful piece of meat, this muscle that doesn't have any fat in it. That's one thing that people would say, well, it doesn't have any fat in it, it's going to be tough. Well, not the way I'm going to show you. So as you can see on this piece, there's still a little bit of where the valve has gone through. So that's where I'm going to trim it. Just cut that out. So that's all cleaned up. And then I'll look at the other pieces here. There still is some fibrous tissue in here, so I will make sure that I'm cleaning all of that out. My mouth is watering already anticipating this. The closer to the top of the heart you are, the more you're going to probably have to remove. All right, I'm still trimming on the outside a little bit of the very top piece that I had sliced off first. You want to make sure that you get all of that white outer layer and anything that was on the inside out of there, because it is so tough. Those valves are almost like if you took a piece of rubber and tried to chew on it. You can't pull, break, or anything like that. That's what this fiber is like. That's why you want to make sure that you get all of that off. Otherwise, you're really going to wreck your cut of meat. So I'm almost done trimming these all up. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you're going to get your pan ready. You want a thick bottom skillet of some type. Cast iron works excellent. This is generally what I do use. And what we're going to do is put a liberal amount of olive oil or oil of your choice in the bottom. I've got the flame turned up on this because actually we want our pan screaming hot before we introduce our steaks into it. That's one of the tips. All right, so while the pan's heating up, I'm just going to season these. Like I said, you can use any type of a seasoning that you would normally use on your steaks and then just sprinkle that on. Today, I'm just going to use garlic salt. All right. The trick to making a tender heart steak is putting it in a searing hot pan. We're going to sear these for 3 minutes on each side, and that's it. If you do it any longer than that, you're going to make shoe leather out of it. So please don't overcook them. All right. I'm only going to do a couple at a time so that I don't crowd my pan. I think I need to make some new handle covers. I've kind of scorched these a little bit. All right, our 3 minutes is almost up. And then we're going to turn these over and do them for another 3 more minutes on the other side. All right, I've set the timer for another 3 minutes. And I do have the burner set on high. And we're going to continue to let them cook. What they're doing is they're searing on the outside. All right, do not overcook these. I'm going to set these on a plate and let them rest. And I am going to get the rest of them in the pan and to get them cooked up. All right, let's get the rest of these in the pan to cook. And I'll be right back. All right, time to try one of these. This happens to be the one that was on the very top of the heart. And actually, it's cooked through a little bit further than I like. I do like mine rare. Very, very tender. Very tender. I had just cooked up tenderloins last night for supper, and they were good, but I'm not exaggerating. The heart steaks are just as good and tender as the tenderloins were of the venison. I highly suggest doing your hearts like this. I guess I would say any type of a heart from an animal, if you prepare this way, even a cow heart, you'd get the same great results. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see that, kind of like I learned the hard way a while back, that I did kick myself in the back end for giving away or throwing out all the deer hearts that I was harvesting because I just didn't properly know how to cook them to make them tender. And I mean, this is a wonderful steak. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell and give me a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. So until next time, stay safe when you're out hunting, enjoy that heart steak, and God bless.